Okay, it's windy up here at the National Harbor. Looking behind me, you may recognize that building right there. That's G4S. G4S, that's where Rod Wheeler's office is over there. And up on top of there, you can see some antennas. I think those are going to be microwave line of sight. Nice thing about being up here on Oxon Hill is it has line of sight in a lot of different directions. Line of sight to the Navy Yard, line of sight down river where that neck of the Potomac is, Fort Washington on the Maryland side, Fort Hunt on the Virginia side. And who is from Oxon Hill? None other than McDuff, our hero. So McDuff says, hey, he's Kennedy's man to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces. He knows all about this Operation Paperclip, all these Nazis that Reinhard Gehlen has put in there. 350 different operatives to set up the original Gladio network in Europe. So Reinhard Gehlen is the guy watching these guys saying, hey, this isn't such a good idea. These guys are taking their old habits, which is kind of abducting women, using them to film them with diplomats, trying to infiltrate themselves into all different kinds of organizations in the United States government. This is what they did with 7 Nazis sitting around Hitler at a kitchen table. They were able to take over the whole country of Germany. Here's McDuff saying, hey, I don't think that's such a good idea. Well, we have the same thing going on. If you take Otay, who is our ambassador of the UAE, and look at his intelligence background, you could say potentially he would be a liaison operation. What if he was, for instance, G4S, what if he was an operative from G4S? Through the UAE, he's able to act as an operative for all the ME countries, all the Middle Eastern countries, as well as the African countries. Who knows, maybe all of the Muslim world up on United Nations. If he is working with CENTCOM, if he's working with the DOD as an operative, a well-placed operative, then he would be able to work with people like Susan Rice to get all the conversations of those diplomats, all the military conversations as well, but mainly the diplomatic conversations, all the shipping rights, as we know. You can ship a lot of different stuff in those containers with those cars in those containers, right? And then you could work with Samantha Power to be the key person to get people to look at different conversations. Now, the NSA can look at those foreign conversations right away, but you could use operatives in the United States now to engage in activities like Vesselnitskaya did. You could set people up, say, oh, this is going to be a meeting about saving children, set somebody up to then set them up for a wiretap. So that's exactly what Vesselnitskaya did with Donald Trump Jr. And we have to ask the question, is the UAE and Otay the head of an intelligence organization here in the United States? And is that exactly what's happening in the United States? Excuses for wiretapping. Remember, the NSA collects it all. They have it all. You and me, as citizens of the U.S., they only need an excuse. They only need a partner like G4S to open the file and start pawing around like they did with Donald Trump Jr. So that's why I'm up here on the Hill, just to say that we might not know all about Otay. If we look downriver a little bit, that's where we're going to have DIA. The gal I talked to for 3 hours, DIA, guess what? She didn't work for a U.S. general. She worked for a British general, a 2-star British adjunct general. DIA right next to DHS. So is DIA feeding DHS? Is DHS feeding DIA in the Five Eyes Agreement? I think that's exactly what the Five Eyes Agreement is all about. That all the information sharing is happening down there. So basically everybody, we can open up the file on anybody at any time. And that's exactly what we found with Susan Rice working with Otay. So I think the events of today are proving out all the things I've said way back when. I think it was 150 days ago I came down here to National Harbor. Maybe it was 100 days ago with Jason. But she knew, the gal I talked to, she knew General Flynn. Is an infiltration campaign, the Reinhard Gehlen type infiltration campaign, happening at DIA? Is it happening right now at DHS and the other agencies below DHS like the Coast Guard and Customs and Border Patrol? Well, if you believe Nadia Aman is just a good, hard-working American, then she could be a target. She could be compromised. Worse yet, she could be a plant. So we don't know. That's the thing about these one illegal login an hour, is you don't know what they're getting. Terabytes of information. That's what we've been told, that kids' homework, terabytes of information. I don't think it's terabytes of kids, at least it wasn't when I went to school. It might have been, well, that was a long time ago. That's not relevant. But I don't think it's kids' homework. And the excuses we're given, it's like a beacon. It's like a shining light. I guess I guess that Tiscom actually used to be a Beacon Hill, used to be a beaconing area, and that Top Golf I think also was a beaconing area as well, before it was called Fort Washington even. Anyway, we're going to keep following this spying with G4S using this liaison operations. We're going to keep drilling down on what gives Otay this carte blanche to have these Dumbo drops in Nevada, and did he have Dumbo drops over at the UAE ambassador's residence that ended up getting burned down this February? That would erase a lot of DNA evidence. Who knows? Let's keep following the trail.